Yeeps Hide and Seek is a game all about gadgets and building and skybasing and a lot more. So today I'm going to be going over some tips in Yeeps Hide and Seek that might or may not help you. Some of these may be extremely obvious, and others you may learn from this video. So stay tuned and be sure to subscribe if you like the video. And anyway, I'm going to be making this video on my favorite map, Playground. Anyway, I put my camera into the crossbow and shot it. That's how I did that, if you were wondering. So that's tip number one. If you want to do a YouTube intro, you can put a drone in your thing, shoot it, and this is what it looks like. Boom. Super cool. Zoom in, zoom out. Tip number 2 is impulse launching. If you throw an impulse bomb down, pick it back up, put it behind you, then you'll go extremely fast forward. Tip number 3. Next tip is double umbrellas instead of just one, because you go faster. This is with 2 umbrellas, and this is with 1, 2, 1. It's not much. It's not much of a difference, but it's enough of a difference to make a difference, if you understand what I'm saying. The next tip is pellet gun launching, where all you have to do is put the pellet gun up to your face and shoot. And you can go super far and very useful. The next tip is pretty and very useful, and it is painting objects. So you can buy a bunch of different paints in Yeeps. I think the gray paint is one of the best. But you can paint objects to blend into the structures around you, so you can hide in places, because it's Yeeps Hide and Seek. You gotta hide. The next tip is freeze ball riding. I don't think I have enough cotton to do it. Basically, you just throw a bunch of freeze balls at your face over and over again. I don't have any more cotton, so I can't do it anymore, but you just continue to go faster and faster and faster, and you're basically flying. The next tip is actually at the cotton machine, which is useful. You have to have both hands down to get cotton, but if someone's right there and they're trying to tag you or something, you can go under and you can maybe block it and get some more cotton while they're going to get another pin. The next tip is with the ice ball again. You have to hit yourself with an ice ball and then lean down to touch this thing. So watch. And you go extremely high. Whoa! And you can also use the umbrellas to this too. The next tip with this is double shooting. And how you do that is you release it and you have your other hand right there. So after you release this one, you click that one. And then you do it super fast, and then it's... and you can go super high. What? The next tip is hot cocoa riding and hot cocoa jumping. How you hot cocoa ride is you get onto something and you throw it beneath you, basically. Pretty easy. You just ride on top of the hot cocoa. The next one is hot cocoa jumping, which how you do this is you hit your head with it. Basically, you just swing it up to your head and you'll get a little bit of knockback, and you like continue to do it, and you can get... I did it wrong, but you can go pretty far. The next tip is with either the Yeti claws or these things. You can actually block with these. To block with these, you have to go like this, and to block with these, you have to go like this, like you're like blocking a punch. But this is like Wakanda forever kind of salute. So that's basically what you do in real life if you're trying to block. And these things will break eventually. The next tip is basically specifically for the arena mode or anything that has the health rule. Basically, 2 shields makes you super hard to hit. They will break eventually, but they do as much damage as a bat, and they cost the same, and they can shield, so they're way better than the bat, just because they can shield, and they can do just as much damage. The next tip is frisbee jumping, or double jumping with the frisbee. Basically, you throw the frisbee, and you jump on top of it. And you can do this to get a double jump, which can help you cross really long distances. Now, I think I can make this jump, but let's say I can't. So I can just throw a frisbee, and boom. I can make the jump now, and then if I want to go back, I can just do that. Jump on top of the frisbee. This skill is pretty hard because it just depends how hard you throw the frisbee, but once you get it mastered, super awesome. Next tip is throwing your ender pearls and other items that like freeze and stuff underhand because they go way farther. So like just throw it all the way over here in one throw, and then I can oh what? And I can teleport all the way back with just one impulse ball, which costs 500. Next tip is to never use the fireworks because they're so darn expensive. 800 for one is just insane. The next tip is with these impulse grenades. Ah! Basically, it's the same as ice ball riding, except you just don't get frozen and you'll fall down over time. You can do this with any of the grenades, actually, including the Halloween one and the smoke grenade. I'll show you how to do it with the smoke grenade. Boom. So, if there's an only up that uses smoke grenades, you can use that to get across a really far distance. Really cool tip. The next tip also involves the impulse balls, and it's to climb walls like this one in Playground, where you can just do this all the way up, and then people will have to use grapplers, stuff like that. The next tip actually does involve grapplers. So what you do, normally when you grapple, it's just a little baby. You don't go that far. But if you freeze yourself and then grapple, you go a lot higher. And honestly, it's super useful. You may notice that I'm wearing propellers. That's because the next tip is literally flying. If you just hold down your propellers all the way, you can actually fly, which is incredibly useful. But there you are. Which is actually incredibly useful in some situations. It's just not a lot of people use the propellers, so this one isn't as useful. Now this one actually applies for creative and survival mode. If you put down a block like this, a 1x1 or like a 1x1 pillow, you can actually place a diagonal. Why did I say it like that? You can place a diagonal like this, and you can make a staircase or something. Definitely do not use these. They are so annoying. These stairs, don't use them. The next tip is to use drums. Drums actually give a little tiny bit of knockback, like that much. Not a lot, but if you put them up here, if somebody like comes up, then they just get hit off immediately. I'm gonna use this thing from earlier, and the next tip is with the sky bases. So anyone can come up to a sky base because, well, they're just not that hard to get up to. But if you put bouncy pillows down here, then it makes it a bit harder to do it. Another thing that you could... the next tip actually still involves with sky bases. If you coat your sky base in impulse bombs, which isn't very convenient, I know. But then, if people try and grapple to it, they'll grapple to the bomb instead of the sky base. The bomb will explode the grappler, and then they'll fall all the way down. Pretty genius. Next tip, if you come over here, the next tip is that you can actually hide inside of these. Now, like, you can't see me at all, or maybe you can, I don't know. But you can hide inside of these, and inside of these, nobody can see you. So you can just, you can just leave if somebody gets near. Another thing is pin riding, but I don't have a pin because I'm not a seeker, and since nobody else is in this lobby because I'm so alone, nobody gonna be able to do that. No, I'm not gonna be able to use the pins. But the next very cool strategy is you can actually stack butt joes on your things. So if you need cotton, you can store 1,000 cotton, and you can also play them as instruments. And then whenever you need it, you can just eat the butt joes. Super, super convenient. The next tip is actually for butt coins. The next tip is to do all your daily challenges. Login streak, very important. You can earn up to 50 extra butt coins per day, which may not seem like a lot, but it does add up. And another tip is to join the content creator program, because for every video For every week, if you make a video on the topic that they choose, you get 200 buck coins, which can be used to buy anything. Super useful. All you have to do is make a video. So, good luck. Next tip is if you don't see your items when you go into the map, like you buy them on the tech web and you still can't find them, check on the tech web and make sure that it doesn't have this symbol, or I don't know if you can see the symbol, but it's a hammer and a wrench. Make sure it doesn't have that symbol, because that symbol means that it can only be used in creative mode, so you can only use it in the wilds map, which are, I guess, north of playground. The next tip is always try for BAM. It's for butt coins, fame, glory, all that other stuff. You win, you get the BAM trophy, which is extremely braggable. You can brag, I won BAM, or something like that. But you also get 1,000 butt coins, and a lot of people would, and a lot of people don't actually participate in the BAM contest, and I honestly think that that's just a huge mistake, because there always is a chance that you could win or get top 15, which you still get 1,000 butt coins. So always try for BAM. It's super fun. Oh, and on to the next tip. Always do the promo codes from the new update. Every update, they will add a new promo code. So the promo code is come right down here. Promo code dispensers right here, and you can type in any promo code. Yeah, I mean, they expire after a while, but I'm pretty sure the promo code I think is Sparta, but I think it might have expired, so sorry. But there are always a promo code whenever a new update comes out, so be tuned. The next tip is to download the mobile app. You get a free zipper, and you get all the cameras for only 500 buck coins. The next tip may not be valid for a lot of people, but buy the bundle. I haven't even bought the bundle this year. Or not this year. I've bought a bunch of bundles this year. I haven't bought the bundle this update, and that's because I got a new debit card, so I can't buy anything for now because I don't actually have it on me. Also, I'm completely broke. The next tip is to not use the white candy. The white candy, you may have bought it, but really risky. You either get double cutting or you lose all of it. I got double cutting, so I'm back up to 5,000. Very useful, but it only doubles your cotton, so if you have 0, you don't get all of it back. You only get double, so double of 0 is 0. I figured that out the hard way.
The next tip is to not be an annoying little Timmy and use this microphone.
Very annoying.
This microphone is pretty cool. I think it sounds weird, but like
it sounds distorted. But I think this is my favorite microphone. It's just like so cool. Cool. It sounds like you're on like a really crappy recording thing. So it's very, I guess, nostalgic, you could say. The next tip is with the roses. Instead of throwing one rose, throw 2 roses at the same time, because then it'll knock back them farther. So if you see somebody over there, you can throw your roses, and if they both hit the target, then they'll get like super pulled and they'll boom. The next tip is in the arena game mode. I'm not in the map currently, so I can't really show it to you as well. This is the bomb. It does 1,000 damage and it costs 600 cotton, 100 more than the Butcho, although the bomb is super annoying and inconsistent. There's also the grenade version of the bomb, which is one of the worst things ever. The only thing that you can do it is like the things from last time, but it costs 600 for a little stupid mini bomb, and it does 1,000 damage. But then again, the aim assist on it is terrible, so Yeeps, if you're watching this, please fix the aim assist. Put it like to the roses aim assist, because it's not accurate at all. The next tip is community worlds, and if you go to starter house, you can go to community worlds where you can find the BAM trophy, rare items, all that good stuff, but you can't carry anything out of the community worlds, which is good because then people would be carrying out like the golden yeep block or the what's it called, the gap block or the BAM trophy, which back when they first added community worlds, I stole a BAM trophy from Community World, and it was like, "Hey, does anyone want this?" And then I never ended up giving it to anybody because like I'm so cool. The next tip is with the propellers again. If you jump and use the propellers, you can go a little bit farther. It's not very ideal, but it helps. The next tip is with the sticky pillow bomb. Why did I say pillow? If you're running from somebody and they're chasing you, you can throw it down, keep running, and then it's really hard to get through all this green stuff. Wait, what? Okay, wait, my camera is right here. So how? Okay, that's weird. It's a glitch. The next tip is to use reinforce instead of pillow because it can't be blown up. So if you're making a sky base or a base or kind of anything else, you need to put reinforced pillows on it or it will be blown up immediately. The next tip is actually with the bundle. It's kind of a trick, kind of not. It kind of advertises that it's a whole new gadget, but in reality, it is just a reskin. So if you already own the gadget, then there's not really any chance. So for example, the Spartan bundle, this is a reskin of the bat. Makes sense because there's actually 3 reskins of the bat that are swords. The pirate sword, the samurai sword, and now this one. So Spartan sword, samurai, and the pirate. I actually own the Peter Pepper picked a pot of peppers. Ah, no! I did the trick from earlier. The next tip is pumpkin. The next tip is actually a very useful tip. These things take your voice chat in-game. I'm not sure if they do it on the mobile app. But basically, you can throw your voice decoy all the way across the map and hide in the opposite corner of the map. Or you could do this, which is actually pretty evil. But basically, it just looks like a normal decoy, so you think, "Oh my god, it's Cool Ranger VR!" And then you go and you try to interact, and it's actually just a voice decoy. So all my dialogue is coming from a voice decoy from behind it, so that's what people would think. So you can do that, and you can run and hide to the other side of the map. And they actually don't cost that much cotton. 300, it's the same as like everything else. The next tip is a very expensive tip. These cannons are very, very expensive. But basically, if you click the button while you're in front of it, you can go kinda far, but these cannons cost 1,000, so it's very expensive tip. The next tip is a tip for annoying players, and if you don't know what an annoying player is, you can go watch my video on the subject about annoying players. But anyway, if somebody's on the cotton machine, you can come up to them and steal their cotton. It's pretty funny, and they'll be like forced, and they won't be able to get cotton, and then they can force you off, and you can just have a battle at the cotton machine. The next tip is double bats. If you have double bats, it's double knockback. So 1 bat does a little bit, 2 bats does a lot. And obviously, since the samurai, the pirate, and the Spartan are all reskins of the bat, they all do the exact same thing. Next tip is also with the freeze glove and the Yeti claw. It's called the freeze glove because if you hit somebody 3 times, they freeze, and then it does double knockback. So if you have 2, then you're already doing double knockback, and then the ice comes on, and it's double knockback. So it's like 4 times knockback or something. So it's really cool. Also, you can just freeze someone and hit them. Which leads on to the next tip. Freezing somebody and hitting them. If you freeze somebody and then hit them, it does a lot more knockback than if you were just to hit them. So if you really want to get somebody off your sky base or something, then you can actually, you can just throw an ice ball at them and hit them off with bats. Next tip is when people are like griefing your sky base or something, they're gonna have to grapple up eventually if somebody knocks them up. So if they're grappled to something and you just take their thing, their grapple breaks and they fall all the way down. The next tip is with the sled in the witch room. If you put it on a sled, then you become slidey. And if you do the witch room, then you can slide very fast. You can slide pretty fast, and since you're technically not touching the ground, you still use the witch broom. The next tip is actually with the witch broom again, but normally you'd have to jump to like activate it. But if you actually use a jump pad, you can go super high up, especially if you freeze yourself beforehand. And you can go over here, and you can go anywhere you want. Accidentally flew into the BAM winner. Oops. I accidentally flew into the BAM winner because I was going so fast and I was just trying to control my speed. Anyway, you can go super fast, super far, super skib. Wow! Oh my. And the witch room actually doesn't use that much cotton, so it's very useful. And I lost my sled. Sliding slowly towards its despair. That's tragic. I'll never get that sled. Wait, maybe? Is it? No, it's not. Okay, wait. I have a theory. Alright, but I'm not gonna do it now. The next tip is with either the sticky pumpkin bomb or the pumpkin bomb. You see it? It's like a pumpkin looking thing. You activate it, little bombs come out, and you can actually throw them at people. They're not very good, but you can, fast enough, you can pick them up and throw them at people. Next tip is with radiation. Radiation is actually good in this game for some reason, but if you activate the radiation, you become super fast, and it actually only costs 400 cotton for the place bomb, so very useful. I would recommend using this. And also, radiation also destroys blocks, so it's a lot more useful than the bomb, which is skibbity. There's also a freeze bomb, which is basically an ice ball, except for it's better, and you become frozen for longer, I believe. I don't know, but it only costs 200 cotton, which is 100. Oh my god, which is 100 cotton less than the sticky or the freeze ball. Pretty useful if you're just trying to freeze somebody. Now, quite frankly, I'm not sure if I actually did get 50, but if I did, then I'm very happy. I'm very sorry if I clickbaited you, but I honestly thought I could do 50. So, even though I didn't maybe do 50, I still did do a lot of good tips, and I would recommend subscribing because this video took a while.